Hi, I'm Erin Tyler, and I'm the creative director here at Scribe. In this lesson, we're going to be learning about how to make a great book cover. Here's what you need to know about book covers. Your book will be judged by its cover, and this is a good thing. This is a fact. Everyone judges books by their cover. Everyone. If you are silently complaining about this, stop. The best thing to do is accept it and then focus on making sure that you make the best book cover possible. One that draws in attention and entices your readers. If you're honest with yourself, you probably judge books by their cover as well, so complaining is not only ineffective, it's hypocritical. Not only does it not help to complain about this fact, you are missing that it's good news that people judge your book by its cover. Authors who don't value a book cover don't understand. It doesn't matter how great your book is, because if the cover repels your audience, they're never going to open it. The entire point of the cover is, in fact, to help your audience realize that they should be reading your book. You should look at the cover as a chance to win over potential readers and as a way to reach someone who needs to read your book. And if you don't do this, if you don't value cover, then your book cover will not be good and it will not attract the readers that you want to attract to your book. Why should you not design your own cover? Are you currently a professional book cover designer? If the answer is yes, then by all means, go ahead and design your own cover. If you are not currently a professional book cover designer, then no, you should not design your cover. This is one of the single biggest mistakes our authors make. They try to design their own cover, or they try to get in the way during the design process because they like design. People have told them they have a flair for design, or they just have a really cool personal sense of style. That is not the same thing as having design skills and experience. Our design team has a combined experience level of 100+ years with color, with photo editing, with composition, with type. There is no possibility any of our authors are more well-equipped to make design decisions than our design team. The best thing an author can do is to be as open as possible about what they envision, their ideas, the colors they like, fonts they enjoy, and then trust that their design team will listen to that feedback and execute that vision. That's what professionals do. There are objectively good and bad book covers. Please don't be that person that thinks that because some art is subjective, then everything related to art, like book covers, is subjective. That's actually wrong. A book cover is a piece of art, yes, but it's a piece of art with a specific purpose, and all book covers can be measured against this specific statement. Book covers exist to give visual form to written content. A great cover makes someone in your intended audience say, I need to read that, by showing them why the book matters to them in a way that they can immediately grasp, or at least raising their interest enough to want to learn more. Another way to think about it is framed by Chip Kidd. He's a famous book cover designer. He's done hundreds of amazing book covers. He once said that a book cover is a distillation of the content, almost like what your book would look like as a haiku. That being said, a good book cover is not just an expression of the idea behind a book. It's the way the audience first engages that idea. It's a piece of marketing. And that's how you measure an objectively good book cover. A good book cover matters to the author because it shows what's in the book, and it matters to the audience because it makes them interested in what's in that book. What do you do before you hire a book cover designer? Now you understand what purpose a cover serves and why a professional book cover is important. You're ready to find a good book cover designer, and then you hire them, right? Well, not so fast. The main problem any book designer will tell you is that the author gives them no idea what they want, or vague, ambiguous cover ideas. I don't know. I just like blue. Maybe it should be purple. And then the two never get on the same page. You'll want to look at a lot of book covers, both in your field and out. The first thing you need to do is get an idea of what genre or topic your book will be a part of, and what the covers in that genre typically look like. It's not a bad idea to look at covers from other genres as well. Just because your book is about psychology doesn't mean it has to look like a psychology book. It could look like a business book or a self-help book or even like a novel. It's important to choose one of two strategies when you regard your genre. The first strategy is to be the very best cover of the bunch within your genre. The second strategy is to countersignal, to stand out so that you can garner attention by being different from all the other books in your genre. Which one you choose is up to you. Don't feel bad about taking inspiration from your favorite books, too. Everything is derivative to some extent. Just make sure you don't ever flat out copy. Pick several covers that are close to what you want. As you look at covers, start to save a few examples of the ones that you really like, or ones that have elements that you really like. They don't have to be perfect. The reason that you're doing this should be obvious. You need to show your designer what you like and not just try to describe it. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Scour the internet and bookstores for covers that capture the aesthetic that you're going for, and then save pictures of all of them. Designers are visual people, and the best way to get a point across is to show them. Pick brands or other pieces of art that you like. This might sound pretentious, but it's actually useful. Don't just limit yourself to book covers. Look at everything. Pull in logos, websites, art, photos. Pretty much any image that you find is in some way something you like or something you're attracted to and something that you want to put on your book cover. What you're doing is creating a collage, or what designers call a mood board, of visual inspiration and ideas that can help your designer to understand how best to get your book's message across to your audience. Hand draw a couple of quick mock-ups yourself. Of course it will be bad. That's fine. Believe it or not, a really bad mock-up is still better than anything that you would describe with tons and tons of words. This is because using words to describe images is always problematic. There's miscommunication, things get dropped and lost. So the more you can give a visual description to the designer, the better. Even if your sketch is terrible, even if it's just a little doodle that you put on a napkin, I will bet your designer will turn it into something great. Author Charlie Hone says, "I can't emphasize how important it is to come up with a concept with your designer and to communicate any and all ideas you have about the process. Draw them out if you have to. It's the communication divide between the author and designer that destroys potentially good covers." So, what I would recommend is that you hire an independent designer. You would be shocked at how easy that is, actually. Book cover design isn't like the auto industry or high art or anything like that, where the best are completely untouchable. A lot of the best book cover designers in the world, who regularly work with major publishing houses, are available to hire on a freelance basis. There are a few ways to find these people. One of the best options is Reedsy, a freelance marketplace designed specifically for authors. Reedsy screens the freelancers and only lets the best in. It's the highest quality marketplace for book designers that we've found, and we highly recommend it. The other option is to go to more general design sites like Behance or Dribbble and search for book designers there. Now, I must warn you that artists can be a bit slow to respond and difficult to get in touch with, but the quality of designer there is outstanding as well. Another option would be 99 Designs. You can get a cover there for between $300 and $600. Designers from 99 Designs and similar sites like Crowdspring are definitely junior in experience level, but the model of 99 Designs can actually be pretty worthwhile. How these sites work is that you post a detailed design brief to their site, and you pay a flat fee. Dozens of designers take your brief, design covers, and post them for your approval. You then have the option to choose the winning designer, or if you don't like any of the designs, you can get a full refund with no hassle. 99 Designs is great as a first option to test if a great cover would be worth the money for you. That way you can see the designs, get some ideas, and hopefully find a great cover. But if not, no harm, and you can go back to the drawing board with other options. We recommend doing the silver contest, which costs about $499. The lower end contests really repel the better designers on the site. It's not worth their time, and the higher end ones don't seem to garner much higher quality. It's important to always be clear what you're hiring the designer for before getting started. If you're only doing an ebook, you'll just need a front cover for Amazon. If you're also doing a paperback, you'll need a front, back, and spine. If you're doing a hardcover, you'll need a separate mechanical altogether with the front, the spine, the back, and the flaps. The assumption should be that these designs are included in a normal cover design quote, but if not, you can expect to pay an additional 25 to 50% on top of the front cover price to get the rest of the design work done. Always make sure that you're clear on this before the designer gets started. Not everybody has room in their budget to hire a pro, but if you can swing it, it's a sound investment. Ultimately, a cover is a piece of branding that reflects upon you. Do you want people to think you're unprofessional? No, you don't, so you invest in a great cover. How do you work with your book cover designer? Once you've established contact and negotiated price, then comes discussion of your cover idea. Here is where all the work you did before comes into play. First off, if possible, get on the phone. It's very hard to effectively communicate with strangers, especially about abstract concepts like design. Prior to the call, send them a cover design brief. This should include all the book covers that you like, all of the logos or other photos that you like, any kind of imagery that you enjoy. Create a mood board. If you created one, also send them a mock-up of your cover. Do this at least a day ahead of time so the designer has time to digest it, take it in, and figure out who you are. Once on the call, walk them through your thinking. What did you like about each cover? What did you dislike? What do you want your cover to feel like? What emotions do you want to evoke in the reader? What signals are you trying to send, and to what audience? How does your concept convey this? The more you explain all your thinking to the cover designer, the better the job they'll do. Communication is crucial. Ask them for at least 3 cover comps. Once you get the comps back, if one jumps out at you, great. Give specific notes and feedback so that you can get where you want, and then you're done. If you aren't happy with any of the covers, that's okay too. Get back on the phone with the designer, and while being polite, but as specific as possible, tell them what you would like changed. This is not about getting angry or frustrated with the cover designer. They aren't in your head, and if the mock-ups didn't fit your vision, that's okay. This is just a communication issue. Just be clearer and more methodical in your description, and you'll get there. Remember this. Your cover designer is a human who has feelings, but also a professional that wants to do a great job for you. Your incentives are aligned. You're both on the same team. You can be firm, but you have to be polite and understanding. How can you make sure you have a good book cover? Once you have a cover, or you think you have a cover, here's how you check to see if it's right. Number 1, does it stand out? This is crucial. Look at it from all angles, print it out, and put it across the room. Think of every possible way someone will look at it, on screen, in a bookstore, etc., as an icon on Amazon. Make sure it stands out that way. Can you read the title? Is the image clear? Check it as a thumbnail. Does your cover look good when you shrink it down to a tiny thumbnail? That's how most of your readers will see it, as a small, tiny image on Amazon. Is that image clickable? You can think of your book cover like a billboard. It's trying to capture the attention of browsers as they speed by. Billboards usually have 6 words or less. You have to get it at like 60 miles per hour in 3 to 5 seconds. Establish a principal focus for the cover. Nothing is more important than this one thing. Your book is about something, and the cover ought to reflect that one idea clearly. You must have one element that takes control, that commands the overwhelming majority of the attention, of space, of emphasis on the cover. Don't fall into the trap of loading up your cover with too many elements. 3 or 4 photos, illustrations, maps, floating ticket stubs. This just confuses people, and confused people become repelled. Number 3, does it say what the book is and who the book is for? Not only does your book need to stand out, but at a glance, your audience ought to know the genre of your book, the general subject matter or focus, and some idea of the tone or position of the book. A truly great book is one that captures the book inside in some fundamental and perhaps unforeseen way. Number 4, did you explore your options? Maybe some people have love at first sight when it comes to cover designs. The artist creates one comp and then the entire team falls in love with it, and the whole process takes 15 minutes. I guess that happens, but that's certainly not something that you'll experience. In fact, that's pretty much a fantasy. One of my authors went through almost 60 different designs. I'm not talking about 60 different little thumbnail sketches or quick napkin concepts. I'm talking about 60 different cover designs. This is extremely rare, but it happens, and it usually happens because, ding, 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 you did not communicate. The challenge as an author toward the end of the process is that there's a part of you that wants this to be done. It's very tempting to pick a design you kind of like just a little bit just to get this whole thing finished because it's uncomfortable. Fight that with everything you've got. You need to find a cover you love, not just like. This is important. You didn't half write the book. Don't half design the cover. And number 5, did you make the brave choice? I see this happen all the time. I'll give an offer, 3 mock-ups, and there will almost always be a bad choice, an okay choice, and 1 great choice. The great choice will almost always require my author to be brave in selecting it. It will have some angle or position that is novel in its field. It'll make a statement that's controversial. It will stand out in a way that makes authors a little bit uncomfortable. I'd say that only about 25% of my authors pick that brave choice, and it saddens me every time. You don't have to make the brave choice, but it's almost always the best one. If there is a brave choice available, this isn't always true. Be aware if this happens to you. The solid choice is not bad, but it means your book won't stand out. It won't get the attention it deserves. The brave choice means it will stand out and it will get the attention. If you're unsure how to define brave, here's a way to think about it. The brave choice says what everyone is thinking, but not saying out loud. So that's it for the book cover lesson. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the interior.